Hello, welcome to this channel. Today we will learn about the devastating confrontation at Salem Airport that could change Tate and Holly's relationship forever. The heartbreaking scene unfolds as Tate Black makes a desperate last-minute dash to prevent the love of his life from boarding a plane that will take her thousands of miles away to Paris, armed with truth that could shatter every misunderstanding that has torn them apart. The devastating departure decision. Holly Jonas has reached her absolute breaking point with Salem and everything this town represents for her shattered dreams. After enduring weeks of emotional torture watching Tate obsess over Sophia Choi's pregnancy, believing himself to be the father of a child he never even got to meet, Holly made the agonizing decision to leave her entire life behind. The pain of watching the boy she loves prioritize another woman's baby over their relationship became too much for her young heart to bear. Her grandmother Maggie Kyriakis tried to convince her to stay, sharing a heartfelt goodbye that left both women in tears, but Holly's mind seemed firmly made up. The teenager confided in her friend Ariana Ari Horton about her escape plan, swearing her to complete secrecy as she packed her belongings and prepared to reunite with her mother Nicole and stepfather Eric in the City of Light. Holly envisioned starting fresh in Paris, away from the drama, manipulation, and heartbreak that had defined her recent months in Salem. She dreamed of walking along the Seine, attending a new school where nobody knew about her complicated past, and rebuilding her life without the constant reminder of Tate's perceived betrayal. Sophia's web of deception unravels. What Holly doesn't fully comprehend yet is the extent of Sophia Choi's calculated manipulation that destroyed her relationship with Tate. Sophia had openly bragged to Holly months earlier that she would seduce Tate and get him into her bed, and she executed that plan with cold precision. The scheming teenager took advantage of a vulnerable moment when Holly and Tate were experiencing relationship turbulence, swooping in to offer Tate comfort that quickly turned intimate. When Sophia discovered she was pregnant, she immediately pointed the finger at Tate as the father, despite potentially knowing the truth about the baby's real paternity. Sophia's mother insisted she keep the child and demanded that Tate put his entire future on hold to raise this baby, adding immense pressure to an already explosive situation. The DNA test results that were conducted at Salem University Hospital revealed the shocking truth that Tate Black is absolutely not the biological father of baby Tesoro. Sarah Horton and Kayla Johnson secretly tested Sophia's DNA to uncover the truth, facing an ethical dilemma about whether to immediately reveal their findings or wait for the right moment. Brady Black learned this life-changing information from Kayla and Sarah, and he knew he had to tell his son immediately before any more damage could be done. The race against time, the moment Ariana told Tate that Holly was leaving Salem for Paris, his entire world stopped spinning. Tate had been drowning in guilt and confusion about his supposed fatherly responsibilities, but the revelation that he wasn't Tesoro's biological father changed everything in an instant. His father Brady delivered the news with a mixture of relief and urgency, explaining that the DNA tests conclusively proved Tate had no biological connection to Sophia's baby. For Tate, this wasn't just about being freed from an unwanted obligation. It was about losing Holly based on a complete lie. The teenager realized with crushing clarity that Holly was about to permanently leave Salem believing he had betrayed her and chosen another woman and a baby over their love. Tate's roommate Aaron had tried to talk sense into him earlier, challenging his negative thinking and pointing out that he was letting jealousy and miscommunication destroy something beautiful. But Tate had been too consumed by his perceived responsibilities to fight for Holly. Now, armed with the truth, Tate knew he had only minutes to reach Salem Airport before Holly's flight to Paris departed. He grabbed his jacket and ran out of the dorm room, his heart pounding as he calculated how long it would take to get across town during late afternoon traffic. Every red light felt like an eternity, every slow-moving car an obstacle preventing him from reaching the only girl who had ever truly understood him. The airport confrontation. The scene at Salem Airport unfolds with heart-wrenching intensity as Holly stands near her departure gate, clutching her boarding pass and carry-on bag, her eyes red from crying. She takes one last look around the terminal, mentally saying goodbye to the only home she's ever really known, preparing herself for the life-altering journey ahead. Holly's phone remains in her purse, though she's been avoiding calls and messages, not wanting anyone to talk her out of this decision she's convinced is the right one. In the background, Tate's frantic voice suddenly echoes through the terminal, calling out her name with desperate urgency that makes other travelers turn and stare. Holly freezes, her breath catching in her throat as she recognizes that voice. The same voice that once whispered sweet promises and declarations of eternal love. She turns slowly, almost afraid to believe what she's hearing, and sees Tate running through the airport terminal, dodging travelers and luggage carts, his face a mixture of panic and determination. The distance between them closes as Tate reaches her, breathing heavily from his sprint through the airport, his eyes locked on hers with an intensity that makes her knees weak. Holly's initial reaction is defensive, her walls immediately going up because she's spent weeks building the emotional armor necessary to walk away from him. The truth revealed. Tate doesn't waste a single second with small talk or apologies. He cuts straight to the revelation that changes everything. His voice rings out clearly despite his breathlessness as he declares, "The baby is not mine." The words hang in the air between them, their significance slowly sinking into Holly's consciousness as she processes what he's saying. Tate explains rapidly, his words tumbling over each other, about the DNA tests that Sarah and Kayla conducted, about Brady confirming the results, about how Sophia's entire story was built on manipulation and lies. Holly's expression shifts from confusion to shock to cautious hope as she begins to understand that the nightmare scenario she's been living through was based on false information. Tate reaches out and gently takes Holly's face in his hands, his touch tender yet urgent, his thumbs brushing away the tears that have started streaming down her cheeks. He looks directly into her eyes with unwavering sincerity, his own eyes glistening with emotion, and begs her not to board that plane to Paris. Tate tells her that he never wanted anyone but her, that every moment of the past weeks has been torture, that he was trapped in a situation he believed was his responsibility but that never felt right in his heart. He admits that he handled everything wrong, that he should have fought harder for their relationship, that he should have questioned Sophia's claims more thoroughly instead of just accepting them as truth. The impossible choice. Holly stands at the most crucial crossroads of her young life, torn between the escape plan she's meticulously crafted and the boy who's offering her a second chance at the love she thought was lost forever. The loudspeaker announces boarding for her flight to Paris, the final call echoing through the terminal like a countdown to an irreversible decision. Her boarding pass feels heavy in her hand, representing the fresh start she promised herself, the chance to heal away from all the Salem drama and rebuild her shattered confidence. But Tate's hands still cradle her face, his presence solid and real, reminding her of every perfect moment they shared before Sophia's scheming tore them apart. Holly thinks about her mother Nicole waiting for her in Paris, about the new school she's supposed to start, about the Parisian apartment that's been prepared for her arrival. Yet she also thinks about her grandmother Maggie, about Ari and her other friends, about the life she's built in Salem despite all its complications. The teenager's mind races with questions. Can she trust Tate again after everything that's happened? Was he truly an innocent victim of Sophia's manipulation? Or did he make choices that contributed to their breakup? Is the DNA test result enough to erase weeks of pain and betrayal? Will Sophia create more problems even though the truth is finally revealed? Holly knows that staying in Salem means facing Sophia, dealing with the awkwardness and confrontation that will inevitably follow this revelation. She knows it means risking her heart again with a boy who, despite his explanations, did sleep with another girl while they were together or on a break. But leaving means wondering what if, for the rest of her life, always questioning whether she gave up on true love too easily. Salem's reaction. Back in Salem, the revelation about Tate's non-paternity is sending shockwaves through the community. Sarah Horton is preparing to confront Sophia directly about her lies and the manipulation that has caused so much unnecessary pain. Brady Black feels immense relief that his son isn't tied to Sophia for the next 18 years, but he's also furious about how this situation spiraled out of control and the damage it caused to Tate's relationship with Holly. The question of who actually is baby Tesoro's biological father becomes the next mystery that Salem will need to unravel. Meanwhile, Maggie Kyriakis anxiously waits by her phone, hoping to hear that Holly has decided not to board that plane and that her granddaughter will be returning home. Ari keeps checking her messages, hoping for an update from Holly about what happened at the airport and whether Tate reached her in time. The entire teenage social circle in Salem holds their collective breath, knowing that this moment will define not just Tate and Holly's future, but will serve as a cautionary tale about how lies and manipulation can destroy relationships built on genuine love and trust. The question remains unanswered as Holly stands in that airport terminal with Tate's hands on her face and her boarding pass clutched in her fingers. Will she choose Paris and a fresh start? Or will she choose Salem and second chance at love with Tate Black? The decision will reshape multiple lives and determine whether young love can survive even the most devastating tests.